Now onto the other side of the fork. Watch your mouth. What is up, YouTube? My name is Enigma Red, and today we go over the second part of the tutorial for Kiss My Arrows. We've already gone over game rules, scoreboarding, and the tripwire basics, what really happens and how they get sent here and how everything gets set up. But today we're going to be covering the waiting area. That's what this is. If you can see over here, the red team, they have their little Red Bulls recruiting area, and the blue squids has their little area that they basically get recruited in. Now, one of the things that you'll notice when you're playing the game is that you can't actually go onto the black wool blocks, well, with the exception of that middle one there. But that is because of this, because of these barrier blocks. Now, the same thing applies to over here. You'll figure out underneath as we go through the commands why this is so integral in the actual setup of the game itself. So let's get right to it. If you look really closely, it kind of looks like an Oreo cookie. Not really sure what's going on there. Probably got some childhood issues. I will work on that later. But for now, let's get into, well, get under, like a mechanic, underneath this cookie. Let's get right in there. So it's actually not that bad as the main arena. This is actually just pretty straightforward. This is right below the button for the red team. What happens, you'll see, is it teleports the player inside that little mascot area that is barriered off using the barrier blocks, and it keeps the player from moving around, so that it keeps them right where I need them, so that I can do stuff like the radius, and I'll show you that in other commands. So this picks someone. You have to be in mode 2, which is the adventure mode, and radius of 4. So within that button, you have to be within 4 blocks, and this just happens to be the coordinate for that. Moving on this side. Now, I don't know what other people are calling this kind of technique here, but I call this a signal stone. It's just a block that allows the signal to go from here to there and then continues on. This one here is a set block 2 on the z-axis using relative coordinates, and which happens to be right where that gold block is, so it'll set it to air so that when the signal comes down here, goes through and through this block, but then clears this signal here, so that another player right after you pressed it cannot just go press the button, because it prevents them from actually using the button until that block gets reset. So this again resets a signal message to players. This is a really simple, this is just whispering to the players that are within the radius of 40 and are in the game mode 2. Recruiting is in process. Alright, so you must be patient to join the red team. That's all that is. It just kind of lets you know, hey, listen, you gotta wait. That's all. Set block. This one here just sets a redstone block using specific relative coordinates that happens to be right here. This sets up the, oh, that little glitch there. This sets up the whole line of other commands that you'll see in just a second. The signal comes in through here. This is a set block that clears the redstone, comes over here, and you can see that the signal splits up this way and up this way. Now, this allows the player to join the team using the scoreboard team option here. Red team, and this is the radius. So everyone within this recruiting area that I'm calling it, and not anyone in the waiting area or in the blue recruiting area. That's why everything is spaced out the way it is. And this, again, this isn't really important. You don't really need this because only someone who's joining the red team can get here. But I had it there for another reason at one point and left it. This is basically team not on the blue team. So this is somebody that's actually not on the blue team is the only one that'll get this particular applied to them. So you can't have people that are joining 2 teams. That's really what it was originally for. This is spawn point. You're already seeing that. It's just the coordinates for the red team's base, just below the bull's head. This is the message that basically said, this is really cool because this is part of the say command, and it basically says that Nearest player, radius of 7, is now on the Red Bulls team, but it won't actually say all this. It'll actually take that player's name and put it there, so that it'll say Creep Freak is now on the blue Red Bulls team, or Jedi Joe is now on the Red Bulls team, and that is really awesome. I thought that was one of the cool features there that I loved. Title setup. Now this is one of my favorite Snapshot features because it sort of makes the game feel a lot more complete. This first command here just sets up the title command. This is for all players within the radius of, this actually doesn't have to be all, it really should be nearest player, but it's not going to hurt in this particular case because I set it up so it shouldn't. But within the radius of 9 blocks, the times is, I believe, the font that it's going to use. Now these numbers over here are not as complicated as they look. This one is fade in, this is full duration, and this is fade out. So that's showing the basically how long the title will stay on the screen. You can have it stay for a long time or just kind of blink on the screen. And the numbers here refer to ticks, in case you're wondering. Now this is the actual title itself. This is where it starts to get a little bit more crazy, because you see that again, this is radius of 8 title. This is important because there are two options here. It is either the this is either the command that's setting up the title itself, or the subtitle. So there's actually 3. But then the data tags is where all the information is really needed. Kiss my arrows, right? So that's where it shows, hey, the name of the game, hey, it pops up. So next data tag is showing, let me move over a little bit to kind of show that. The color is blue. Now this particular one should be red. Whatever, it doesn't really make a difference. Either way, that's what it is. Bold is set to false, underline is set to false, italic is set to false, strike through here is set to false. These are all booleans here. Past the color, everything is boolean. Obfuscated sounds like some kind of other language, but really what this is just whether or not it puts the words in gibberish. Not actually sure why you'd want to do that. Maybe there's a good little mini game to do with that, not sure, but maybe just to be funny. But all of these are off because in this particular case there's no need for it, but these are all the other options I put here just to kind of show. Now the only difference with the subtitle and the title is here. The actual subtitle declaration, the actual text that goes in here, which says mini game by Enigma Red, myself included. Wait, what am I talking about? Anyway, color. This is the color here, and it's to red. Not sure why the other one. Okay, now I know what I'm doing. Confused myself there. So this is the only difference here is red. The other one is blue, and the text here is obviously different than the title. Everything else is pretty much the same. I will scroll through really quickly so that you cannot see it because it's too fast, and boom. Hope you didn't get to see that. So anyway, now onto the other side of the fork. Watch your mouth. Is the give command. You've probably seen this 100 times. Just to kind of go over it real quickly. Gives 1 stone sword. This one gives 2 bows within a radius of 7. This one gives 64 arrows. That's actually the most that you can get. That's the most of any item you can give to a player. So if you want to give them another 64, then you basically just have to repeat the command, and then give them another set of 64. And the effect. Now this effect here you can see is actually the ID here. This is the ID of the actual effect. This is just to select who it's going to affect, who the effect is going to affect. That's pretty funny. So 9 is actually the nausea effect, so that you see a little wobbly screen when you start up. It's just kind of a cool effect. It's kind of like, looks like you went through a portal. This one here is the length of time in which that effect will be affected. Effect to effect. Nice. So this one here is just really the not the duration, the amplification. It's really just how strong it's going to be. You can be from anywhere from 0 to 255. And this one is actually, I just made it really crazy, just kind of like for dramatic effect. And that is pretty much the oh no, wait, whoa, missing something. So when the signal comes up here, splits to this side and then to that side, it does this little line here of repeaters that delays everything. Now this one here just teleports the player right back to the waiting area. That's what these coordinates are here. Then it continues on down the line, right? Then it sets the block, a goal block, which happens to be this one here. So it sets it back up so that the next player can go and press the button, because the signal will continue and go through and sort of do this whole cycle. This one here is just a message, another whisper. It tells all these players here, says you can now join the red, I gotta read my own stuff. You can join the red team now. You can believe in yourself. So that's pretty much that. This is the waiting area, and I will not do the main area in this tutorial. That's going to be a part 2, maybe a part 3, depends on how crazy things get. But that is it. I will have another download link for this. Everything will be below, some links, and any questions, likes, comments, whatever, subscribe. You can do all that below. Later.